Well, I think the companies are speaking out in part because they're being called by the press, and there are items that they want to talk about. I mean, everybody is very disturbed about the events of last Wednesday. They're very concerned about how we got there, and they want to do something. So, as you just indicated, many of them are making it clear that they're going to think about their political donations. They've got an easier year to think about it before they would start preparing for the next election. I'm sure that the reason they're going to think about it is they're going to watch and see how these people that are a question with them behave, involve, and conduct their affairs for the next, 10 or 12 months. It's a very emotional thing for a lot of people, and it's not over.
Do you think this will finally lead to serious regulation of social media platforms? I ask because to what extent do the businesses that you represent rely on those platforms and broader internet platforms to promote their businesses, and that if they suffer, the social media companies, will it hurt business in America?
Well, it's very interesting because most of those companies are private companies, and therefore they can let on whatever they want or keep off whatever they choose. But in fairness to many of those companies, the politicians have been asking them to take steps as they recently have for a long time. That's half the politicians. The other half of the politicians weren't asking them to do that. But I do think the idea of limiting people's ability to talk in ways that question the legitimacy of our government and the founding principles under we operate is something that we ought not be inviting people to have in the way it's been happening. An intellectual discussion, a discussion on a historic basis, all of that is fine, but we all know the difference of what we've experienced here in the last month or so.
So, Tom, I guess the question is, what are you willing to do about it? We've seen a number of companies, including Marriott, Dow, pause funding, political contributions for those senators and I think other politicians, House members, that supported this effort to not to contest the election. Is that something the U.S. Chamber is looking at doing?
Yes, but this is very simple for us because we wouldn't spend any money on political activities other than research and stuff like that with any candidates for at least 10 months or a year. So we have a little more time to figure out how we're going to do that, how we're going to recommend to our companies what they do. It is very clear that we're very upset about what happened. But one of the things we're trying to do is be patient to get ourselves together to see what happens in the next 8 days in the government, and then in a thoughtful way make a plan on how we deal not only with what we do with our money, but how do we deal with what we do with our influence.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.